Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Stand by.
Hang on. Let me focus.
1, 2, 3.
Are you ready?
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
In terms of Egyptian culture, what comes to mind right away is love, family, and just empathy. Hi, I'm Tom Gadelrab. I'm from Lewiston, New York, and my family moved to Buffalo in 2005, originally from Egypt. A lot of people may not necessarily understand exactly, where I'm from, what I represent, what is important to me or my family, especially of how ingrained faith and culture are together for the Egyptian community. In terms of my faith, I'm an Egyptian Christian, which is to say Coptic. A lot of people don't realize that there's a huge Coptic community, huge Christian community, in fact, in Egypt. For being technically a second generation child in the United States, my father was very proud of being an American and grew up here even though he was born in Egypt, but he held on to the very traditional things you would find in an Egyptian culture. When you're looking at the culture and the faith together, that is something that is inseparable. This bread is called Orban, which would be translated into an oblation, or the offering that we use Sundays during our liturgy as the body of Christ. Technically, yes, anyone can make these. I've practiced at home. Generally, they are the deacons that are the ones making these Saturday night. So an ordained deacon would be trained on how to make these oblations, and they would be the ones to prepare this Saturday night. So it's made of flour, yeast, and water, which would make it a leavened bread. For the Orban, there are key differences in terms of what makes this different from any loaf of bread. One of the main things is a stamp that you're putting on the face of the Orban, which has a cross in the center and then an inscription in Coptic language, which is an ancient language, that is on the perimeter of that cross. Furthermore, they actually stamp 5 pierced holes around the cross to represent the 5 piercings in Jesus' side and hands and legs during the crucifixion. So again, this is technically the body of Christ for Sunday's liturgy, and in that sense, we try to represent that on that stamp and piercings. As odd as it may sound, it's just water, flour, and yeast, but when it comes to Sunday morning, it's delicious, it's sweet. It's actually, you look forward to it. It's a beautiful thing. For Sundays after liturgy, we have something called Agape. Agape is actually a Greek word. So in the Greek language, there are several words that represent love, and it's actually different types of love. So while people may be familiar with philo, which is brotherly or friendly love, Agape is the highest form of love, unconditional love. So the Coptic Church as a whole kind of implemented that for Sunday's gatherings, and that we try as much as we can to have this Agape for each other. So that gathering is named after that. I think one thing people might notice right away, especially if you're coming into the cafeteria for Agape, is just how loud it is. Just the jovial nature that we have, that love that we're having for each other in Agape, it flows through our voices. We show that emotion with how loud we may get. We try to go all out, whether it be cooked chicken or kofta, which is a ground beef type of meal. And then there's kibda, which is a very traditional Egyptian liver dish, which is delicious. We have a lot of immigrant families that have moved from Egypt and have been raised here. So I'm actually one of the few people that was born and raised here as an American with both Egyptian and American traditions. So for me, it's a testament. I try as much as I can to educate the immigrant families that are here, because I completely understand the Egyptian values that they hold are completely important. I've known certain other communities where, church is just a destination per se, but for us, church is truly a home. But it's because you're going from the faith aspect where I'm here to praise, and then I go to a community aspect where I'm sitting there with friends and family just enjoying Agape, and it's truly a blessing.